Hi everybody, this is Texas Falls. It's a little picnic stop on the side of one of my favorite places in the world, Route 125 through the Green Mountains National Forest in Vermont. I discovered this about 4 years ago on a road trip, and it's a place that I always try to come back to when I just feel like recharging. Today is August 17th, 2015, and it's a special day for me because it was 5 years ago today that my company Nuance Leadership was founded. And I'm on another road trip as I try to take at least once a year through this magnificent place to try to recharge. This is how I decided to recharge and celebrate the 5-year anniversary of my company, and I can't believe that it's been 5 years. I've had a lot of people ask me, how did I know when it was time to leave the job that I had and decide to see if I could make it on my own? And it actually was on a road trip a lot like this one. It was in, I believe, July of 2010. I had been pretty unhappy at my job for a while, and I decided that I wanted to get away and just spend a little time with friends. And I went on another road trip through a beautiful place like this, Cape Breton Island in Nova Scotia. And I was on a trip in a van with a whole bunch of my friends. And I discovered when you have a really good group of friends, what happens is some days half of the group is sort of on and half isn't. And on those days, the group that's on sort of makes jokes at the expense of the ones that aren't. And then there's other days where the ones that aren't get to turn the tables. But every now and then you have this amazing day with your friends where everybody's on. It's like all of your conversations were scripted by someone brilliant. It's like you're all in a Friends episode and everybody is just making jokes and making each other laugh. And we were having one of those days. And we were driving along the Cabot Trail in Cape Breton, and we stopped at a little picnic spot. And we walked up over the hill. And as we walked over the hill, there was this cliff, maybe 150 feet, 200 feet down to the ocean. But what had happened was the clouds had actually rolled in under the cliff. So as you came up over the crest of the hill, all the clouds were actually laid out at our feet. And if you've ever flown in a plane, you know that feeling of all the clouds below you. But it's a completely different feeling when you're actually standing on the ground and you feel like you're up above the whole world. And as we walked over the hill, I think all of us just shut up because we realized how unbelievably beautiful it was. And I was standing there just sort of my breath being taken away. And I remember thinking to myself, this is weird, like I feel odd. And I was trying to figure out what it was. And then all of a sudden it hit me. I was feeling happy. And it had been so long since I felt really happy that it actually struck me as a weird sensation. And I think that I don't know much about, the secret to happiness, but I will say this, if at any point in your life, happiness strikes you as an odd feeling, then you've got to change something. And I think at that moment I realized that I had to go back and finally cut ties with the job I was in and decide to try to make a go of it on my own, speaking and founding Nuance Leadership. It's been a remarkable 5 years. I wanted to take a brief moment, and though I can't thank you all by name, I want to thank all of the clients who have given me the extraordinary honor of their trust in allowing me to share an hour or 2 hours or an afternoon or a day with your audiences. I want to thank so much my friends at the Lavin Agency who made so many of my dreams come true. I want to thank all of the fellow speakers who have helped share ideas with me and make me want to be better at what I do. And I want to thank all of my friends who let me sleep on their couch when I didn't have a place to stay, who always said to me, hey, let's go and take a road trip together, who always reached out when they hadn't heard from me in a while just to make sure that I was okay. All of my friends who put up with me being gone for 200 and some days a year and not getting to see some of the people I care about the most more than 2 or 3 times a year. But in those 2 or 3 times, you absolutely make it feel as if we haven't spent any time apart at all. It has been a magical 5 years, and I want to thank all of you who have helped make it a reality and make a life where I can take moments like this and spend time in absolutely beautiful places a reality. It's been an incredible ride, and I want to say thank you all, and I really hope that there's a lot more years to come. But in those moments in your life when you're not sure, if you should stay with what you have or you should try something new, ask yourself, is the only thing that's keeping you from trying something new the fear that what you're going to end up with is worse than what you have? And I think that's the fear that keeps us from doing a lot of things. But always ask yourself, if you're afraid of what you're going to end up with if you make a decision or a change is worse than what you have, really ask yourself, do you really love what you have? Because if you don't, then really what are you risking? People are always like, take a risk. But the fact of the matter is, if what you end up losing isn't something you like all that much anyway, is it really that much of a risk? I'm so glad that I've had people to support me along the way. Thank you all so much for taking the time to watch these videos, to send me emails and tell me the work that I do matters to you. Thank you so much on this amazing 5-year anniversary for the chance to share ideas that matter to me and that I hope are having an impact on you. It's been an extraordinary time, and I can't wait for many more years to come. Thank you all so very much.